Hi, folks. My name is Bob Marshall, Chairman of the Lakeville Cable Advisory Committee. And in accordance with the provisions allowed by Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, the February 16th, 2023 public meeting of the Lakeville Cable Advisory Committee will be held remotely. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date. Okay, gentlemen, the first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of 9/15/22, which was the last time we met as a full committee. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve those minutes?
Yeah, I'll make it, yeah.
Okay, Walter makes the motion. Is there a second, Tom?
I'm sorry, I was muted. Yes, second.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on the minutes of September 15, 22?
No,
Nope.
Hearing none. All those,
Roll
no,
call.
can't do that. Got to do a roll call. Walter, your vote?
aye,
Tom?
Aye.
Bob says aye. All right, the minutes are approved. Okay, second item on the agenda, discussion of and likely vote on recommending to the select board, which is the issuing authority, the latest Verizon renewal license proposal. Gentlemen, we've had their last proposal now for well over a week, probably closer to 2. And I'm sure we enjoyed reading all of that legalese. Bill, I don't know how you put up with all of that language because it made me cross-eyed, but it was, we read it through, we've reviewed it. Tom and I, of course, have been working as a subcommittee. Are there any questions that anyone wants to bring up about anything you saw in their last proposal?
no,
I went through it page by page and I thought it was in really good shape. What did you think, Bob?
I agree with 100%. There were 1 or 2 items I thought I found, but I was wrong.
Yeah.
The more I looked into it and thought about it, the language was what we had talked about and tentatively agreed to. So I think that it's fine and good to go as it is. But I wanted to give everybody an opportunity. Jose, did you have anything that you wanted to comment about?
No, I did not find anything.
Okay.
How about Bill?
I was just about to get there. Bill, did you have anything?
Just that one clerical item about the 100 and the 180. But the substance of it and the license overall, everything is in order.
Right.
And in my opinion, it's what we were looking for.
Yeah, Bill,
and
can
what
you
we
remind
negotiated.
me? I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah,
That typo of 100 versus 180. What section is that?
5.1.1.
Okay.
Right, it says upon 100 days written out, and in parentheses, it says 180. They clerically forgot the 80
Right.
in the written part, 5.1.1. So
Okay.
you should send that to Niall
I
and
will.
Paul. You can copy me if you want, and they'll just clerically change it and
Yeah.
send it.
Yeah, that's simple enough.
Right.
Was there anything else that you found, Bill? I know
No.
you and I talked. No, I
No, and
didn't
I was-
either.
I was looking.
Yeah, I was too. I had the 2 side by side and page by page and so forth, and it came through as true to what we had tentatively agreed to. Now, we can go in either of 2 directions. I have a listing of what I consider to be the major highlights. We can go over those either before we vote or after we vote. It's up to you, gentlemen. What would you like to do?
I
Well,
would
just for the
say-
benefit of the public hearing this, we have gone over those things.
Oh, many times, yes.
times. So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
if we
as
do
a matter
vote,
of fact, now that you
Right.
mentioned it, Bill,
Right.
that's a good point. Maybe I should bring up the highlights.
I just got lost here.
Um,
What happened?
Walter, we can still see you and hear you.
We can see and hear you,
All
Walter.
right. Yeah, I can't see.
You can't
Oh,
see
okay.
anything?
Yeah, all right, there's a page. Are you scrolling up pages?
I was scrolling up a page, yes.
Okay.
Okay, to anyone who might be listening or watching, the highlights that I came up with, first of all, our PEG grant funding, which is the largest source of cable funding, increases from 4.0 gross annual revenues to 4.75, which matches exactly what Comcast is providing. One of the things I've discovered over the years is that running a studio costs a great deal more than I ever understood that it did. And this money is none of it is tax money. We should all understand that. And that's a misunderstanding that people often have. So that money will be used by LakeCAM to run the studio, record meetings, programming, etc., and broadcast on Facebook as well as this one is being done. Second item, by the way, if I come up on anything, folks, that you guys want to stop and talk about, let me know. Second item is capital funding, which is largely an amount for equipment, has decreased in this latest Verizon proposal from 82,500 total to 62,500 over a 5-year period. However, Verizon has agreed to pay that money, that 62.5, to us sooner than the 5-year period in 4 installments over 3 years.
Bob,
and- yes,
plus the increase in the annual payments is much greater than the decrease in the capital. So
right.
it's
You'll notice.
the total amount is greater.
I'm sorry. Would you say that one more time, Bill?
Yeah, because the annual went up from 4%
Oh, yes.
to 4.75%,
Right.
and the capital went down a little. The total financial support has increased significantly.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And the last part of this capital funding item here, it talks about this is an annual decrease from Verizon's payment. But it's more than Comcast annual pay. So we got a bump there as it compares to Comcast.
Mr.
All right.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman?
Yes,
Could
go
you
ahead.
shut off your video because your audio is cutting out?
okay, yeah, I think I
Just-
have to stop sharing before I can,
No, you
do
don't
that.
have to stop sharing, you just stop video. Bottom left,
okay. How's
Good.
that? Any better?
better.
Okay, thank you. All right,
Mr. Chairman, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Bill, you're almost correct. My calculations have it at about the same in terms of capital plus the PEG fees come out to about the same. It's within $1,000 or $2,000 of the same amount of money, based on the calculations of recent Verizon
subscribe.
quarterly payments. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, next item is always been a big one for us in particular, and that is the term of the license. Comcast license is a 10 license. And
Excuse me,
Verizon
you're
won't
cutting out.
What's that?
You're cutting, audio's cutting out.
Hey, Bob, let me do the share and maybe
All right.
that'll
Yeah,
help.
wait, Jose, can I ask one question on your
Sure.
comment? What is the Verizon actual payment approximately at 4%?
Well, right now, it's been running at around 23,000 per quarter.
About 23,000 per quarter, so that's
Actually,
92,000 a year, because that's going to increase,
by about 5,000 per quarter.
or about 20,000 per year, which is
Correct.
more than the decline in capital per year.
The decline in capital is almost exactly 20K.
No, under the existing license, it's 16,500 a year capital.
Plus the variable, which has been going down too.
Are you talking about the 4%?
The 0.7% variable quarterly.
That was in the existing license.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. So you're looking at the
Does that take into consideration subscription changes, like, numbers? Yeah.
But yes, the PEG funding amount is a percentage of the payments made by subscribers. The capital funding on Verizon's part on the previous contract was 16.5 fixed per year, plus another quarterly payment of 0.7% as capital quarterly.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's about the same then, right?
It's about the same. Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Can everybody see my version of?
Yes. I can see
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Thank
Is
you.
my audio any better, Jose?
It sounds like it is, but you haven't been speaking for a while. Go ahead.
Okay. Item 3, term of the license. As I started to say, we have always wanted Verizon to give us 10-year license, because doing this every 5 years is very consuming. Not to mention, it hits us in the pocket, and we'd like to do away with that. We brought this up any number of times, and we're told Verizon just will not consider it. So having to do this every 5 years is a pain, and it's expensive, but they won't budge. Next item, definitions. There were a number of definitions that we worked on. One, the name of the access designee or access corporation under the existing license. LakeCAM was called the Access Corporation. Under this license, access designee may be used. The definition, the actual definition of a public right-of-way was changed. I think it was section 1.29. The service area, that is a map of the service area, which they say is the entire town, is in either 1.34 or 1.35. So we got those changed, a little bit of change. Number 5, something called termination generally, and that is Verizon's term for this section 2.4. Basically, what they want to do is, if the market and or cable should change, they want to be able to terminate the license after 3 years if they give us 6 months notice. Now, I think we see this as unlikely to happen, but they wouldn't budge on it, and their rationale was that the technology is changing so rapidly that they need the flexibility to do so. It should be, people should be aware that Comcast never brought anything like that up. we were not able to move them on this issue. How's my audio doing, Jose?
Good.
It's fine. As
Okay,
far as I-
good. All right,
far as I-
item number 6, studio police station interconnection. There was some question about how that was all going to happen. Can you scroll that down a bit? There we go. Good. Oh, too much. There you go. Good. There was some discussion about how that was going to continue to go on. Thankfully, with Jose's input and expertise, his communication with Verizon engineers were able to straighten that out. So I think we believe that that language has been strengthened and clarified so that it can go forward, and that connection will continue to work. Customer Service Office. Boy, did we spend a lot of time on this. Presently, in Middleborough, right next to Trukey's, there is a Verizon service office there where you can exchange equipment. You cannot pay a bill there, I don't believe. They still want you to pay your bills either online or by check or however you do it, but they wouldn't budge on that either. But they did say that they saw no reason for them to want to move the Middleborough Verizon store, and that if you have an equipment problem where you need to exchange, we were told that in all likelihood, Middleborough is going to remain that store. Interestingly enough, in my conversations with our Verizon rep, some of the towns who are also using that store are as far away as, I believe he said, Foxborough. Now myself, if the store was in Foxborough, I wouldn't consider that to be a reasonable distance for someone to go. But for us, Middleborough, I don't think is unreasonable. So that's where that stands. Any questions, comments, concerns? Okay. 7A, nope, that's the number 8, Jose. The service area map. We wanted to make sure that we could get a map of the town that shows where Verizon service is located. They balked at that for some time, but eventually came around to saying that if we made that they would keep such a map in a Verizon office no further than 45 miles from our town hall, which they said would be Boston, because that's where they keep these things. So if we need it, we can get it. This becomes important in just a few items after this. We'll get back to it. Item number 9. Kind of interesting that Verizon initially inserted language, excuse me, that said they wanted the town to indemnify them, in other words, protect them for any damages incurred due to Lakeville's willful negligence. That was a totally new piece of language, and that's one of the reasons why we said, no, we can't go along with that. So they eliminated that language. Item number 10, performance bond. We found a typographical error that did not include the previous figure of 100,000. It had been typed in as 50,000. When we brought it to their attention, they changed it, and it now reads the same 100,000 that it has been.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
your video got turned on somehow. Could you stop your video again?
yep, I did that, unfortunately. I just need to, there we go.
Thank you.
All right. All right, public rights of way. a great deal of time was taken to explore and discuss Verizon's obligation to provide cable TV service for residents all over town, including private developments. This next item is important. Verizon's corporate position has been that they are not obligated to provide cable TV to anyone who lives in a private development. We dispute that. We did from the beginning and we did at the end, but we couldn't get them to move. Therefore, I think it should be noted, item B, it should be noted that to date, oh, excuse me, no, still up in A. It's critical that all builders, developers, and potential home buyers who purchase in a private development understand that they may not be able to get Verizon cable TV service in their development. This is still somewhat up in the air. They have their position, we have ours, and we could not come to a language agreement on that item. Verizon is very much aware that we dispute their position. Item 11B. It should be noted that to date, we are unaware of any difficulties with Comcast in this regard at all. In the latest example, LeBaron Hills, which is where we had been working to get the private ways issue resolved, Comcast never had a problem. They came in as soon as they could, wired as many homes as they could, and they didn't have a problem with it. Now, at the end of this section here, just above item number 12, it said, but we are told, one of our Verizon reps told us, that Verizon has finally completed LeBaron's cable wiring and either is or soon will be open for business, even though it's a private way. So while they say on the one hand, they're not obligated to, it appears as though the work has been done and either people are able to now or soon will be purchase Verizon cable TV. And we have nothing to do with internet or telephone by law, but usually if cable TV comes in, the option to have the other items is there also, but I can't really speak to that with any certainty. Okay, item 12, change of laws, section 2.7. Under the the existing contract, which is up May 5th of this year, there was language that basically said that if the cable laws change, federal and state levels, our license could continue on. The language in our license could continue on. They didn't want to agree to that. And we're only talking about a couple of months where this would be active in our existing. Not agree. So one will be changed. Whatever laws are to cable TV in our town will apply here also. Something a note here just says my internet connection is unstable.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay. We'll talk about that later. 13. The Department of Telecommunications and Cable has I think it's a regulation, I think the law, that says that negotiations should begin at least 3 years ahead of time before the expiration date, which would have put us back in 20.
Bob,
But
you're
Verizon's,
cutting out.
go ahead, am I cutting out?
Yeah, Bob, you're cutting out. Try it now.
Okay. All right,
I can hear most of it, Bob. It's just got an echo.
yeah, I
It
don't
is
know,
audible. I mean, we're hearing you. It's just,
I don't know what's causing that. I've got a 1 gigabyte, whatever you call it, the terminal, a modem. So I would think that's sufficient, and it's a desktop. So whatever. In any event, Verizon would not consider starting negotiations prior to 1 year before the expiration date. Now, we've come to a tentative agreement, so it's somewhat moot. However, this made the time frame, in my opinion, far too compressed, and the process became more anxious than it should have been. It's done, it's over with. I hope it's done and over with, but in any event. Okay, could you scroll that down, Jose?
That's it.
Okay, hang on just a second. I think I had added a couple, oh, I think I added, some thank yous and so forth. And, yeah,
Jose,
that's it.
Jose,
Yes.
when I do the minutes, is there a way for you to attach that to the minutes? Would use that, what Bob just went through?
Oh, I can send that to you, Walter.
Well, it's not the point of send it to me. It's a matter of putting it together with the minutes so that when we get sent it to the town, it's just one piece.
All right, Walter, let me suggest this. When you send me the minutes, I can then,
You can dump it into it.
I can copy and paste that onto your minutes, and
Okay.
then we'll send that directly to the town.
Yeah, because that way Tracy or Ari has that,
Right.
and and those are the highlights that you're going to talk with them anyway.
Okay, gentlemen, are there any other things that you think we should discuss before we gain a motion to Tom?
Yeah, I was just wondering, is there any new information that we should share with people about how to get a human being on the phone if you need one?
Well, it's funny you should bring that up. It's only a little bit complicated. I spoke with Neil about 2 hours before the meeting. I had contacted him over the last couple of days, but didn't hear back. And he gave me some advice how to get a human being. Basically, if you're looking for something minor, like let's say you want some sort, the little rubber protection things you put around your phone or something like that. He said, you got to go through online. You're never going to get a human being for something like that. If you've got equipment problems, cable TV problems, there is a way. And give me just a moment here. Just type up. Oops. Basically, you go through your normal Verizon queue, you call the number, get your automated response, have a the first contact. If you have a landline, that's usually the billing telephone number. And that's associated with the account that you'll be identified with. If you don't have a home phone, then you've either got to connect your cell phone to your billing account and or have your account number handy. He said that was key, to have your account number handy. And it's, yeah. Okay. Then you'll be asked by the auto representative, what is the intention of your call? Is it repair? Is it billing? Is it new services? Whichever one you indicate, you say, and then if Verizon knows the account number, there will be some questions like, do you need help in this regard? And you will say yes, and I'm told, then you will get through to a person. That's what Neil told me.
Thank
Bob, can you attach that to the minutes also?
I can,
That would be helpful.
yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
Now, one of the things that Neil indicated was, I'm sure we can all understand from Verizon's point of view, they don't really want a flood of phone calls going directly to people. If it's a minor issue, they want you to use the online apparatus that they've got set up. But in my case, I don't have Verizon, so I haven't had this experience with them, but I've had similar experiences with Comcast. And I have to say, agent, agent, agent over and over to finally get through to a human being. So there are processes that will work.
Bob, I think there's another way. I don't know if it was with Comcast or Verizon, that if you get the automated message and it's not addressing what you're calling about, if
Right.
you let that message run through 3 times without making a choice, you'll automatically be transferred to a person.
Okay, I've never had that experience, Tom, but I take you at
Well, I
your
read
word.
it in, I think I read it in the Comcast contract. I don't know if it's applicable to Verizon or not, but sometimes
Okay.
if you're just silent, they will automatically send you to somebody.
Okay, all right, well, it's good to know.
And one other
Um,
thing,
Yes, Walter.
if you, some of the stores, the Verizon stores, like Raynham, Wareham, wherever, and you try to contact them, that some of them may have an individual number. Most of them have a national Verizon number. And so you have to go through the national line, and then they'll connect you to the store or try to answer your question,
Right.
that way.
Right. And I was surprised to find out that in our area, there are as many as 18 different Verizon stores. I called every one of them one day doing a survey on this issue. That was a lot of fun. So that's where we are, gentlemen. Are there any other issues associated with this renewal proposal that you think we ought to discuss before we entertain a motion?
I don't have anything.
I don't.
Okay, is anyone prepared to make a motion that we recommend to the select board, which is the issuing authority, that they approve and sign this license?
I'll make
Go
that
for it, Tom.
motion, Bob.
All right.
All right, Tom made the motion. Is there a
I'll
second?
second. I'll
Is there
second.
any further discussion?
Okay. Approved.
Hearing no discussion. Tom, your vote, yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay. Walter?
Aye.
Aye. Bob says aye. All right, we have made a recommendation to the select board that they approve and sign this license. And of course, Verizon will be doing the same on their part. And when both of those are done, the license is executed and will be in effect May 5th of this year.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay,
For your help.
I want
Thank
to,
you all.
yes. I want to
Thank you.
take a few moments here to say a few words of thanks. Those of us who've been with the Comcast and Verizon license issue from the beginning, it was 2.5 years with Comcast, and it was almost a year with, actually it was over a year because they wouldn't start, and I was communicating with them before the beginning of the year anniversary. So it's been the better part of 3.5 years. And we've been involved in reading a lot of legalese that's sometimes complicated and challenging, at least for me it was. I want to thank Bill for all of his help. It really has, it gets difficult to understand. And Bill has helped us to understand some of the intricacies and the corporate positions and so forth, and the effect that one has against Lakeville's positions and so forth. So Bill, thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a team project. Thank you.
Well,
all.
it was, you're right. It was, but you're part of the team.
Thank you.
Whoops, the host has asked me to start your video, all right?
Hmm.
Start my video. Is that better, Jose?
We'll give it a shot.
All right, okay, let me know if I'm breaking up, guys.
Okay.
I wanna thank Walter and Tom in a big way, because this has been tedious in more ways than one. And you've hung in there, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. You could have said, see you later, I've had enough fun, but you didn't. And I thank you a lot. Lastly,
I want
I
to,
won't go, I will not go fishing with you again.
Bob, I would like to speak on the part of LakeCAM's staff and board. Thank you all for volunteering to do this. I know it's a huge commitment, and I really appreciate it. And Bob, for the 35 plus years now that you've
that's
been
just
doing
about
this.
right.
So thank you for sticking with it.
Yeah, nobody worked harder than Bob, I'll tell you.
Well,
That's true.
as Bill said, it was and is a team effort. And I didn't get a chance to finish thanking Jose for all of the help that he has given him. I can't, even in the last day or two, I shipped a few emails to Jose. Jose, would you look at this? Would you look at that? Technical language, which I don't find as easy to understand as I wish I did. And Jose was always there, always willing to read it over and check it against what he knows to work for LakeCAM and Lakeville, and giving us that advice.
It's been my pleasure.
Well, we appreciate it a great deal, Jose, really do. And I think even though Verizon gave us some difficulty here, in particular, Neil Connors, I thought was very helpful to me, helping me to understand what their position was and why. And Paul Train, I dealt with him only a little bit, but he was somewhat helpful as well. So gentlemen, I think we are done unless anybody else has got something they want to say. Tom?
Bob, do you think we should try to recruit some new members to the committee?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I didn't include it in the document I sent to Jose, but one of the closing, hang on a second here. One of the closing items I had was to make all those thanks and so forth, but also to say, now is a good time for anybody who is interested in serving on this committee, because the workload will be rather small, rather low, rather easy, and the time to learn that learning curve of all the terms and definitions and history and meaning of this language and the importance of that and so forth, you'll have that time, that opportunity. And that's a good point, Tom. And when we meet with the selectmen, and I don't know when that's going to be, because Ari's going to be out next week. And I want to meet with him to go over this stuff. And then we'll set up a time. More than likely, folks, it's going to be on a Monday evening, as most of their meetings are. And Bill, I I'm gonna have to get the okay from Ari on this. I think I'd like to invite you to that meeting if you're able to make it, whatever the date may be.
Right.
So, Tom, I had already thought of that, but it's a good idea. Perfect time. You've got everybody's attention. We need people. We want people. We've been advertising. Jose,
And just a reminder, this is a 5-member committee,
right,
so there's room for 2 more immediately.
right.
Yeah, good point.
Procedural comment about the
sir.
selectmen.
Yeah.
I think, as you know, technically it is styled as a public hearing on the proposed license, and the license is supposed to be in, and a lot of towns don't do this, but it's a great thing to do. In the, as of the legal advertisements, in a public file in the office of the clerk for public inspection, which protects us, because then you can always say, you know, it was available for public inspection.
Right.
You got a public cable file.
Bill, would you do me a favor, please?
yeah.
Would you send me an email with that information,
Yes,
including the
yes.
wording?
Yes,
I think you did that for the Comcast license.
yes, yeah.
Well, aren't all the selectmen meetings public meetings anyway?
No, they're
Not
public.
public
I'm saying
hearings.
the license document should be in a public file
Oh,
2 weeks before the hearing.
oh, I
So
see.
that and then the advertisement in the state regs says you have to put in your legal ad 14 is not less than 14 days, 14, that the cable document, the license, is available for public inspection in the office of the clerk. I'll send that to you, Bob.
Thank you.
And the clerks do that from time to time. They have different kinds of public files. All
Yeah.
right, so
I'm just jotting a note here.
that's transparency. It makes us look good.
Right, yeah, it makes common sense. I'll make
Yep.
sure that that gets done, and you'll send that to me ahead of time, and
Yeah,
they've already got a copy of the license at Town Hall, but I'll send another one. And Walter, no pressing matter to get the minutes to me, but when you get them, I will add this document that we went over.
Yeah, I'll have it by this weekend.
Yeah, that's fine.
And the Verizon call instructions.
Oh, yeah, right, right. Hang on.
Excuse me, Bill. Could you
Yeah.
stick around after the meeting? I have a question for you.
sure.
All right, I guess that's it, gentlemen.
Great.
I want
Make
to
a
thank
motion to
you.
adjourn?
There were times when I wasn't sure we were gonna get here. Okay, we have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All right, any further discussion? Walter, your vote.
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Bob says aye.